Right now, you are sitting somewhere safe. Maybe a chair, maybe a couch. The temperature is controlled. No predator is crouching in the corner. No storm is bearing down on you. By any objective measure, you are fine. And yet something in you is not convinced. There is a low hum of unease that never fully goes away. A background noise of worry your rational mind can't seem to shut off. A voice that says something is wrong even when everything is fine. That voice is not broken, it is ancient. And it is running a program that was never meant for the world you live in today. Your brain is roughly 2 million years old in its basic architecture. The part of you that processes threats, scans for danger, and sounds the alarm when something feels off, that part was forged in a world of predators, famines, and social exile that meant death, and it has not received a meaningful update since. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett, who has spent decades studying how the brain constructs emotion, describes this as the brain's primary job. Not thinking, not imagining, not creating, but predicting. Your brain is always running simulations of what is about to happen, and it calibrates those simulations based on every experience your ancestors ever had, not just your ancestors in history books. Your ancestors from 100,000 years ago who lived in small bands on the open savanna and for whom a moment of inattention could be fatal. The result is a nervous system that is exquisitely tuned for a world that no longer exists. Think about what your day actually contains. You sit in traffic. You check your email and feel a spike of dread before you even open it. You scroll through news and feel a creeping anxiety about things that are happening thousands of miles away to people you will never meet. You lie awake at 3 in the morning, heart beating slightly too fast, thinking about a conversation you had 2 weeks ago and what you should have said differently. None of that is dangerous. None of that threatens your survival. But your brain does not know that. Your brain evolved in an environment where almost everything that felt threatening was threatening. The rustle in the grass was usually a predator. The unfamiliar face usually meant a rival tribe. The social slight usually meant potential exclusion from the group, and exclusion from the group in the ancient world was effectively a death sentence. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar, whose research into primate social behavior produced the now famous Dunbar's number, the idea that humans can maintain stable social bonds with roughly 150 people at a time, has argued that the human brain's complexity is largely a product of social pressure. You evolved to be exquisitely sensitive to where you stood in the group, who trusted you, who didn't, who might turn on you. Your brain built elaborate machinery to track all of it. That machinery is still running, right now. It reads a terse reply to your text and catastrophizes. It notices your name was left off a meeting invitation and starts calculating whether you are being frozen out. It replays a moment of embarrassment from years ago with perfect clarity while the perfectly pleasant afternoon you had last Tuesday has mostly faded. This is not weakness. This is design. Psychologists call it the negativity bias, the tendency for negative experiences to register more strongly, stick more firmly, and influence behavior more persistently than positive ones. The researcher Roy Baumeister, in a paper that became one of the most cited in social psychology, laid out just how deep this asymmetry runs. Bad events are processed more thoroughly than good events. Bad information is attended to more carefully. Bad first impressions are harder to reverse than good ones. Baumeister's explanation is evolutionary. An ancestor who underestimated a threat died. An ancestor who underestimated a reward just missed out. The asymmetry in survival pressure created an asymmetry in neural wiring. And that wiring is yours. So what does this actually mean for the life you are living right now? It means your brain is playing a game with rules that no longer apply. It is a smoke detector calibrated for a world where almost every wisp of smoke meant fire. In that world, a false alarm cost you a few seconds of panic. A missed alarm cost you your life. So the detector was set to maximum sensitivity, and now it goes off every time you make toast. Here is where it gets stranger. Your brain does not just detect threats that are present. It manufactures them when there are none. Researchers studying a phenomenon called the threat detection default have found that when the environment is genuinely safe, the brain does not relax. It starts scanning harder. It becomes more sensitive. It is as if the ancient threat monitoring system cannot accept the data that everything is fine, because in the world it was built for, everything being fine was usually the moment right before something went very wrong. This is why silence sometimes feels louder than noise. Why success can feel destabilizing rather than reassuring. Why some people feel most anxious not in crisis but in calm. The old brain reads safety as a setup. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio has studied what happens when the ancient emotional circuitry of the brain is damaged or disconnected from decision-making. His patients could reason clearly, explain consequences rationally, and understand their situations in perfect logical detail. They simply could not act. Without the emotional signal, Without the gut feeling, the low-level hum of fear or draw of desire, the rational brain stalled completely. The ancient system, it turned out, was not an obstacle to good decisions, it was the engine behind them. The cave never left you, you carry it everywhere. Consider what happens in your body when you read an alarming headline. Your pupils dilate slightly, blood moves toward your major muscle groups, cortisol begins to rise, your attention narrows and sharpens, your digestive system slows. This is the stress cascade, the same cascade that prepared your ancestor to sprint away from a predator on the open plain. It is running in your body right now, triggered by a story about something happening to someone you have never met, in a country you have never visited, about a problem you cannot personally affect in any way. Your body does not know the difference between a lion and a news alert. It responds to the signal your brain sends, and your brain sends the same signal it always has. But here is the counterintuitive part. The cave was not only dark, your ancestors in that ancient world also had something you often lack. They had granular, immediate feedback. The threat appeared. The body responded. The threat passed. The body returned to baseline. The stress cycle completed. The nervous system reset. What is different about modern life is not the volume of threat, it is that the threat never resolves. The headline is replaced by another headline. The email dread gives way to another inbox. The social anxiety about one relationship bleeds into anxiety about the next. The ancient system runs its program. Alert, mobilize, respond. But the resolution never comes. The predator never appears. The fight never happens. The danger never passes, so the cortisol keeps circulating. The vigilance never drops. The smoke detector never resets. This is the friction between who you are and the world you are living in. Psychologist Peter Levine, whose research into trauma and the nervous system has influenced how therapists understand chronic stress, observed that animals in the wild complete their stress cycles through physical movement, shaking, running, fighting. They discharge the energy the threat summoned. Humans suppress it. The suit, the office, the social norm, all say, do not shake, do not run, do not make a scene. So the mobilization stays in the body, waiting for a resolution that the modern world rarely provides. You are not anxious because something is wrong with you. You are anxious because you are running ancient software in a world that keeps generating error messages the software does not know how to process. And knowing that changes something. When the dread rises without cause, you are not malfunctioning. You are working exactly as designed, for a world that no longer exists. The brain that is scanning for threats is the same brain that kept your lineage alive across 2 million years of darkness, drought, predation, and plague. It got everything here. It just does not know what here looks like. The next time you feel the low hum of unease in a room where you are objectively safe, the next time your heart rate rises at a notification, or you replay a moment of embarrassment at 3 in the morning, you can recognize it, not fix it, not silence it, just recognize it. You are sitting somewhere safe right now, and somewhere deep in the architecture of your brain, in circuitry that has not changed in 100,000 years, that is exactly what makes it so hard to believe.